Joining us now is OjyOkpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, Jinx.
Good morning, Dr. Abati. How are you this morning? Great. Good morning, Ayo. I love your smile. How are you?
Good.
I'm glad that you're able to brighten our day this morning with all the sad news going on in Nigeria. Rufai, I miss you so much.
I miss you.
Eh?
I miss you. I miss
Don't
you.
stay away for too long.
I miss you.
Eh?
I miss you.
Well, all right.
All of you, we are my guy. Dr. Abati is my Ijile Pampa.
Yeah. Who's your guy? Now only you are alive.
Dr. Abati is already dancing. I will never leave your side.
Rufy, your fans miss you.
I dedicate myself.
Is enough? Okay, okay, at least there's a way to cheer up our day this morning. Well, all right. Well, good morning to you viewers. Let's begin what's trending. With reactions trailing the protest in Minna, Niger State on Monday, residents trooped out in large numbers to protest the rising cost of living occasioned by the downturn in the economy. Young men and women blocked a roundabout, stopping vehicular movement. Efforts by the police to stop the protest and disperse the protesters failed. The deputy governor of the state, Yakubu Garba, was at the scene to address the protesters. Look at that large crowd. Well, there were also protests in Kano State on Monday. The governor of the state, Abba Kabir Yusuf, in an emergency meeting with business community in the state, decried the hardship and starvation faced by Kano residents. The governor said many people are living in misery, starvation, and acute hunger, which has resulted in the death of many residents who cannot afford food. Well, the All Progressives Congress has alleged in a statement signed by Felix Morka, the party's National Publicity Secretary, that opposition parties are instigating mass protests to undermine the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The statement was posted on X by the President's Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo, onanuga. The statement reads in part, in its arrant desperation to portray the All Progressives Congress, APC-led administration as underperforming, opposition parties have resorted to instigating unsuspecting young people to protest in the streets of some major cities. The protests in Minna and Kano earlier today were the manifestation of this devious and unpatriotic plot. That the protests happened simultaneously in both cities is not coincidental. It bears a bold stamp of an orchestrated and coordinated effort to instigate unrest and undermine the government. While we recognize the right of citizens to engage in peaceful protest, we urge our good people to be vigilant and not lend themselves to the treacherous attempt by the opposition to promote social strife by its incendiary rhetoric and manipulative plots. I mean, Rufai, this is just really alarming to see that, this is coming from, the APC say. I mean, you saw the large crowd in Minna. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's still campaign season.
Nigeria's an APC state.
Exactly. I don't know if it's still campaign season. But this is real. This is real. Let me just take a comment from Shehu Sani, who wrote, the protest in Minna, Niger State against the high cost of living falls within the ambit of the right to peaceful dissent. Protest against the cost of living was also done in other European cities experiencing economic pains. The protest is simply a message and a call for immediate and impactful measures to address the problems of the epidemic of poverty in the country. Go ahead. You know the conversation here now is when you when you're coming out to protest, these people come out and debunk your claims. Either they call it fake news or sponsored. Opposition. Are you an opposition?
Me? I'm not an opposition. Me, I'm just a citizen that is seeing the way hunger is going in the country and that fears for Nigeria that if something is not done, we might be in a quagmire. In fact, we are there already. And this was a result of bad decisions made hitherto, and we can't say that enough. And what are the solutions? If we have a strategic grain reserve, can we put that out there? Post-harvest losses, can we increase yield? Can we bring security back so that the farmers can farm? Can we ensure we give subventions? Some of the ideas that were put forward to also before, let us remove the tariff on all those big crops, wheat, barley, and all of that. And let's also ensure that people get food one way or the other. Everything should be done. Make it easy for food to come in. Because one of these problems would date back to the last administration when you had the border being closed. For the hypocritical people that are responding and saying opposition, what opposition led all of this? Don't gaslight the people. Mr. Bayo onanuga was seen in a statement to be saying, trying to justify that Nigeria's cost of living is not high compared to other countries. Oji, when the protests on rice in Liberia started in '79, those were the exact words President Tolbert was using. But that protest became so severe in the country. Now you are saying it's opposition. Opposition for what? Who cares? In an APC state? Niger is an APC state. Bago is an APC governor.
Yeah,
people are suffering. You are saying opposition. You are saying opposition. I sang Bob Marley's song this morning. An hungry man is an angry man. We belly full and them hungry. That's what people are singing on the streets.
Yeah.
Must everything be on the lines of politics? And these were the people that did worse in their time. My favorite pastime now is I go and dig out all the old tweets of President Bola Tinubu and I'm just reading them.
Which tweet is this one?
It's one of his old tweets. His tweets are playing. Okay,
go ahead. Read this one.
This one, he said, Nigeria's security situation is precarious. Nigerians are tired of excuse and explanation. They want protection for their life and property. Many of his old tweets.
Yes.
This was the same people, too, that led protests.
This is it.
In their own time. Why are people so hypocritical? Why can't they accept what they dish?
This is it.
This war is not led by the opposition. These are people revolting. They are hungry. Ebim Pawa. Is the opposition that organized people in Lagos Island, the base of President Tinubu, when he came to mosque,
yes,
and they were saying Ebim Pawa? Was the opposition that organized that one?
We saw that.
Is the opposition that tell Wasiu to go and sing? That say, Ilu down.
You didn't send me that video.
I'm going to send you. Is the opposition that instigated Wasiu and Ide Marshal to sing?
It's unfortunate.
This was the same Wasiu that a couple of months ago was singing, Elo fọkàn balẹ̀ o, Elo fọkàn balẹ̀ o. Elo fọkàn balẹ̀ o.
At least it's making people laugh in this song. Let me pull up another tweet of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. This was back in 2014. He wrote, the festering Boko Haram attacks on the northeast and massacre of innocent citizens is concrete proof that Nigeria has no government. I mean, at this point now, we have seen a lot of kidnapping, we have seen food inflation. Ayo, I cannot go to the store and not cry. I'll send you a video. When they are ringing up those food items, my heart is like jumping.
Oh, you wait for them to ring it?
Yes, sir.
I use the feature where you check before you go.
Start to remove it. Remove. Well, before I come to you, though, the First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Remi Tinubu, has assured Nigerians that the hard times being faced by Nigerians will soon come to an end. Remi Tinubu gave the assurance on Monday in the State House during a meeting with the governor's wives on her pet project, Renewed Hope Initiative.
Times like this calls for sober reflection, hence all hands must be on deck. We all need to continue to pray and work for peace and stability in our nation. Let us remain steadfast, supportive of one another in this particular time we are passing through as a nation. It is only temporary and would fade away sooner than we anticipate. In Jesus' name.
Ayo, the First Lady has assured us that, the policies in place will help and it will soon fade away. I mean,
We are hopeful as well. It almost seems as if the national anthem, second or third stanza of the national anthem would be Davido's assurance, because what we've been hearing over the years is assurance, assurance, assurance. But Nigerians are fed up. We've eaten assurance and we are full to the brim. There's no more space for assurance. What people want is action. The First Lady, I must say, in this period has conducted herself really well, even with regards to her body language and the donations she's made, her speeches. I didn't expect anything less, but for her to assure the Nigerians. But beyond the assurances, if you were assuring people and there's a timeline for that, the truth is that assurance doesn't buy food in the market. Assurance doesn't secure lives and property. Assurance doesn't pay school fees. And this is what the people are agitating for. And so assurance is not going to stop people from protesting. And that's what we've seen in all these states. And so while she says hardship will soon end, beyond this is what are the things that will be done to make hardship end? What the people want is a trust system where the government will say something and we believe that in a month's time, things will get better, at least in immediate, like you said. I cite, if you read the These Day back page on Sunday, was really brilliant with regards to the suggestions, even reminding us that late President Musa Yar'Adua had faced such a situation during the global food crisis. And what did he do? He did exactly what you mentioned, Rufai, in terms of taking off tariff on certain food items that Nigerians eat a lot, like rice and the likes, for a temporary period of time. Also, releasing grains from the reserve and those things. And then I mentioned also, we must also include the subnationals, the governors, in terms of their interventions. Beyond assurances, beyond speeches, beyond, conspiracy theories, Nigerians just want to eat.
Yes.
Hunger is killing people.
Yes.
Let them eat.
Well, another story that's been going around is, government officials even donating money, as well as the First Lady, who is said to have donated $100,000 to Nigerians in the diaspora in Sierra Leone chapter, that is the Sierra Leone chapter, for the construction of a first-class medical center for Nigerians in Sierra Leone. The medical center, when completed, would address the medical needs of over 40,000 Nigerians living in Sierra Leone. A good gesture, but Nigerians are saying, what about our facility here? But you can recall, back in November, I believe last year, the First Lady had visited Sierra Leone, and they had spoken about the dilapidated state of the medical facilities there in Sierra Leone, especially for our Nigerians. If you recall, there was war going on at the time as well. So I think it's a good measure, but Nigerians are also saying, please donate. She did donate 950 billion, I believe. Was it?
Billion.
950 million. Did I say billion?
Yeah.
You know that billions. It's only billions we've been talking about. 950 million at the time. Rufai is smiling. Well, in the meantime, Nigerians have reacted to a viral video which captured the moment a friend of Vice President Kashim Shettima showered praises on him for gifting him 10 million naira in cash and a vehicle worth 15 million naira.
Today, 1st of February 2024, witness a great blessing of the Almighty Allah on my part. My bosom friend, close friend, His Excellency Alhaji Kashim Shettima, Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, blessed me with 10 million naira cash, with a car, and 10 sets of expensive gowns with caps and other honorarium. I wish him long life and prosperity. Now, Bonnie, this is the car with which the Vice President has blessed me with it is worth 15 million naira, so it's a presidential car.
All right, Kashim Shettima there, presidential car, Dr. Abati. I wish I had it. No, that's what he said. I'm just repeating what he said. I don't know if you heard that.
Was just speaking in a manner of, after a fashion.
Of course.
Well, yes. Number one.
Yeah, of course.
Look, the first thing is that people who are in public positions, they also have private lives.
Of course.
They have friends. The fact that they are in public life does not mean that their private lives will end. As a governor or as a president or as vice president, you have friends from way back. Maybe you went to school together. I don't know the relationship between the VP and this particular person. But this was not a political setting. It looked like a personal thing. Giving a friend 10 million and a car for 15 million, that's 25 million naira. How much is that if you convert it from...
You are a violent person, Dr. Abbas.
If you convert it...
You are a very violent person.
No. Since we think in dollar terms now in Nigeria,
yeah, that's why you're violent.
If you convert from naira to $2. That's not a lot of money. So
how much is money?
And it's not public funds we're talking about now.
Yes, but it's
not as if the VP is spending public funds to give to a friend. I mean, how many of us, even who are not in public positions, don't we on a daily basis, run poverty alleviation schemes for friends, for all these extended family people who seem to have a special way of knowing when some small amount comes into your hand. And they will tell you, my brother, your wife has given birth to, she just gave birth yesterday, we are in the hospital, all kinds of things. Your children have to pay school fees, so they keep adding responsibility onto you. So we all have responsibilities. Some people do voluntarily, some they get imposed on you. That's one. Number two, as for Mrs. Tinubu donating to a cause in Sierra Leone to support NIDO, Sierra Leone chapter, Nigerians in Sierra Leone. Well, again, I don't see a problem with that. I mean, you never know. That Nigerians in diaspora organization, they may have also approached her to ask for assistance.
They did approach her.
That's what I said
last time.
And again, nobody has said it's federal government money that she's giving out. It's her personal resources she's using to support. And to the extent that she continues to support her husband, I'm sure if there are groups in Nigeria who also go to her under the Renewed Hope Initiative, she will also provide that support. And then she's saying 2024 will be a year of peace, progress, and all of that. Well, have we forgotten that Mrs. Tinubu is a pastor of the Redeemed Church? So what do they sell in churches? Pastor's wife. What do you people sell in?
Faith and hope.
Renewed hope. Yeah, you sell renewed hope. You give the people hope. Yeah, and in politics, you give people hope. Absolutely. I don't expect a pastor, of the Redeemed Church not to talk about hope and progress and prosperity in the year 2024. So when she says that, it's true to character. As for this talk about food insecurity, well, I had made a point, cited the example of what happened 1789 to 1799, leading to the French Revolution. And people should learn from that. When people are hungry, they are angry, and they can go to any length. And so to just say, oh, maybe it's the opposition that is behind this, misses the point. The truth is that the streets are not smiling. People are hungry. In fact, sometimes when you see the way people react to you, ordinarily, you'll be wondering whether you had known the person before. Don't you see how people drive? Sometimes some people will just be walking in the middle of the road.
Yes, sir.
As if they want to commit suicide. Yes, so hunger can give people psychosis. So that's part of the problem. Government should not downplay the crisis of hungry people. They have shown their hunger in Port Harcourt. They have gone onto the streets of Ibadan on another occasion. Now we had there is protests in Minna, protests in Kano, where the people are saying they are hungry. Truly, the people are hungry. If you don't go to the market, you won't know. If you don't go to some joints, you won't know. Now, can you imagine selling the cow tongue for 2,000 naira?
You eat cow tongue?
No, I'm just giving an example. Bokoto, 2005.
Yeba.
Something they used to sell for 300 naira, 200 naira.
Yes.
No, these are practical demonstrations. So, there's problem in the land. And to think that one of the first things that President Tinubu did was to declare a state of emergency on food insecurity.
Absolutely.
He declared a state of emergency on food insecurity. So at the end of the day, this has become mere rhetoric. No, the people, we need to provide opportunities for them to feed. They are talking agricultural production. We have been discussing agricultural production since the days of Green Revolution, Operation Feed the Nation. The people are still hungry decades after. It's a serious problem that a country that is as blessed as this cannot feed its own people. Absolutely. Nobody should make light of it.
Well said, Dr. Abati. Well, we're on protests. Well, let's head over to Senegal now, where over 100 people gathered outside the parliament on Monday, chanting, Macky Sall is a dictator, following the president's unprecedented postponement of the presidential election over the weekend. Police fired tear gas and chased the protesters into the streets amid some arrests. Yeah, Rufai, that was a shocking announcement over the weekend by President Macky Sall for that, the postponement of the election. But I believe that the parliament, voted yesterday that it will hold on December 15th, but it's appalling.
I feel
what
very
are
sad.
African leaders turning themselves in?
And I feel very sad for Africa. When we have a gray of hope, like the former president of Namibia that passed of blessed memory, we see people like Macky Sall, and Macky Sall is a disappointment. Oji, I followed events closely in Senegal. When Macky Sall was about to become president, he had served in the Abdoulaye Wade cabinet, the former president, and there was a talk about victimization. The Senegalese people stood for him, they fought for him. There was a youth movement called Yenema that said they were fed up of Abdoulaye Wade just to ensure that Macky Sall becomes leader. Macky Sall got there, he became a dictator. This was the same man that promised he was not going to do 3 times. He wanted to do a 3rd time. They stopped him from doing the 3rd time. Now his claim is that, constitutionally, because some people were excluded from the election, that's Karim Wade, the son of, Abdoulaye Wade, and Sonko, with all his court cases recently. Then he went on television. Election was supposed to hold on the 26th February, 25th February. He went on television and he said, no elections again.
Shocking.
Senegal, that is known for a bastion of peace, has gone wild as we speak today.
Yeah.
It was a ruckus in the parliament in Senegal yesterday. They've been able to reach, but they've not reached a formal decision yet, because he is supposed to leave on the 2nd of April. So you've plunged your country into chaos because of your own selfish interest. I remember the people too that were hurt in the protest about his 3rd term agenda. Why are African leaders always behaving like this?
That was my question.
Why this same Macky Sall that a lot of people thought was a breath of fresh air to Senegal, he has taken Senegal backward. This is a country that has a lot of stability. It's a country of great intellectuals and thinkers. It's a country of Sheikh Anta Diop.
Africa, why
But
so?
you have brought the country down on its knees. Now, we don't even know where Senegal is going to go. Please, whatever they must do, they must hold elections and ensure that there's a peaceful transfer of power. Because this is the same person that will go and sit in ECOWAS, and this is a part of the people that will do chokili against Niger. What you are doing, Macky Sall, is it not worse than what the Kubis in Niger are doing?
Yeah. All right, we pray for a peaceful transition in Senegal. Shall we take our final story? Under sports in South Africa, where Nigerians in the country have been warned to be mindful of where they watch the semi-finals of the Africa Cup of Nations clash between the Super Eagles and Bafana Bafana, and to equally refrain from wild celebrations in the event that Nigeria wins the match. Well, the warning was issued in a statement by Nigeria's High Commission in South Africa, titled Advisory on Safe Conduct for Nigerians in South Africa, before, during, and after the 2024 AFCON match between Super Eagles and Bafana Bafana. The attention of the Nigeria High Commission Pretoria has been drawn to potentially inflammatory online comments made by a section of South African citizens against Nigerians living in host country, largely influenced by the upcoming 2024 African Cup of Nations semi-final match. The statement continues to read, most of the comments consist of veiled threats against Nigerians cooking jollof rice before the match and showing pepper to Nigerians if Bafana Bafana lose the Super Eagles, among others. In this regard, the High Commission hereby advises the Nigerian community to be watchful of their utterances, be mindful of where they choose to watch the match, especially in public places, and refrain from engaging in loud, provocative celebrations. Dr. Abati, I mean, this warning comes at a good time. I know that there was all of that, what did they call it at the time? The xenophobic attack at the time in South Africa. I think it is important. But this idea of, refraining from celebration just kind of sounds absurd to me.
Nigeria and South Africa are bitter rivals when it comes to football. And we've seen in Africa that people generally, whether they are Ivorians or Ghanaians or Guineans or Nigerians, are all very emotional about football. Because football is almost the equivalent of a national conflict. But diplomacy helps to the extent that the Nigerian administration, the Nigerian Commission, High Commission in South Africa, is saying Nigerians in South Africa should be law-abiding. I think that's the statement there, and that they should not behave in a provocative manner. In parts of South Africa, even in Johannesburg, you go to some areas, there are Nigerian communities.
Absolutely.
And when Nigeria is playing and they win, the way they will troop onto the streets, and our brothers don't just troop onto the streets, they will gather South African girls to join and jubilate with the Nigerians. That can be provocative.
Can it really
for male South Africans. So I understand where the High Commission is coming from. But again, along the path of diplomacy, the High Commission should also approach the South African authorities to talk to their people, to know that this is football. It's not war. Nigeria is not at war with South Africa.
No, not at all.
It's just 90 minutes, 120 minutes. In the spirit of sportsmanship, whoever wins, should be sportsmanly, kind enough to congratulate the other party. But to say that Nigerians should abbreviate their joy in order to not to make South Africans unhappy, that may be asking for too much.
I think it's a bit extreme.
Because we will jubilate.
We must jubilate. And you must bring the cup back home.
We will be joyous.
Absolutely.
We'll be joyous.
And they must do the pepper souping and the jollof.
We'll come and beat them and we'll celebrate here.
With pepper soup and jollof rice. Let's end. Well, all right. I'd like to thank you all for your great analysis. As always, on What's Trending. Rufai, welcome back.
Thank you.
Well, that's all I have for you on What's Trending today. I'll see you all tomorrow.